welcome back to another video of H&HExpress model and scale trains. Last Saturday, February 4th, I was a guest in the Sidetrack live show from Back on Track. And I would like to thank the team for inviting me over as a guest on that show to show how my layout is currently and how I control the layout. So what I did in this video, I took some snippets of that show and show you how it looked and also show you the questions which have been answered during that show. So let's go.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us.
Morning.
We have a special guest with us today from the Netherlands. His name is Hai, and you're going to have to pronounce your last name for me.
Fasten.
Fasten, okay. Easier than it sounds, easier than it looks. Anyway, Hai's got a layout, and we've been talking for almost an hour, and he's been telling us, so we kind of quit asking questions, so we only had to answer them once. But he's got a pretty fascinating little layout, and he's going to be telling us all about that today, so you guys get ready to ask some questions.
Oh, yeah.
And
when did you start in the hobby, and what drew you to the hobby?
Well, the hobby started in, 1993, I think, together with my wife. We joined a train club in the Netherlands, and the train club was modeling in nscale. They were making modules which were about 4 feet and 1.5 feet deep. So 4 feet long and 1.5 feet. And they were specific, the tracks were on a specific position on that module. You could change a little bit of it, but you also needed to make sure that they came back at the edge where the next module was sitting on. So my wife and I, we built several modules, and we had in total at the longest point about 100 feet of track on all those modules. I also bought some modules from colleague model railroaders in the Netherlands, and yeah, due to changes, we left the model club. But while we were there, we used a caravan to transport all the modules to go to shows. The same what was in Amherst, that a lot of clubs were there which put their modules together, and we were part of that as well. So we went to Belgium and in the Netherlands in several locations with the club to show our modules. Later on, I stashed them away, and the larger ones, which were 4 feet by 3.5 feet, I dismantled them, took the buildings off because I didn't have any room anymore to go there. And Alicat, no, I'm not an NMRA member. The club was NMRA, but I'm not an NMRA member. So I stashed everything away, and then thought, yeah, we'll see what happens. So, and in the room where I'm sitting, that's the attic of my house, I started to build a music room. But later on I thought, well, the room is big enough to do something back with the hobby again. So I thought I'm gonna build a smaller layout. It's a fixed table, and it's about a little bit less than 5 feet deep and just over 9 feet long.
Now might be a good time to go ahead and throw up your track plan for us.
Yeah. If you want to stick that up there again, we'll put it up on the screen.
So this is my track plan, and the cities and the villages and so on, they have the names of my dogs. So it's not based on prototypical. So I have here a train station, which 4 tracks. And the train station is for the town called Buddytown and a village called Codyville. So from this area over here, where the shadow station is, until this area, that's about 9 feet. and then where the shadow station name is until the this area over here, that is a little bit less than 5 feet. The Kevin's yard, which you see here in this area, it's actually positioned on top of these double loops. And I'm currently in a change process of moving it a little bit. So the shadow station, I built that instead of a helix. I had helixes, but the problem was that my incline and decline was not long enough. So I was over the 4% of grade, and with an nscale locomotive, it's not a good idea to do. So I tear down the helixes and build the shadow station with 4 tracks, and this is then a station called Aki Station, named after the cat of my son. And then we have the staging yard, and that's really the location where it is just an extension of my layout, and it only has 4 tracks where I can stage my coaches, my locomotives, etc. But that is still a work in progress. It is already there, but it currently doesn't have any power. Because the system of everything is DC, so analog, but I use a twist in my way of controlling the system. As you can see, this is a JMRI layout, and I use DCC-EX as my base station, and I sniff the information what the DCC-EX sends out, and I translate it in a power section to control all power on my track.
So let me ask a quick follow-up question on that. So that allows you to run DC equipment on your rails, and your sniffer takes in the information from your DCC command station and then applies it to the rails so that any DC equipped locomotive then runs accordingly in that block. Am I understanding that correctly?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought you'd said earlier, but I wanted to make sure that I understood that and was going to ask that question. That's really, really awesome. And let me ask another question in that same kind of area. You mentioned that your blocks turn off and on as the locomotive transfers from one block to the next. The preceding block will turn on and the previous block will turn off.
Correct.
Is that a necessary thing to take place because you're applying the DCC to each block so that what's going on in the other blocks won't interfere with the DC signal? Is that why you did it that way?
No, the reason why I did that because I want to have multiple trains running, and of course in the real system, in the real world, there is always one block empty between the locomotives. So you have a locomotive running in one block. So let's say it's block number 4, then block number 5 will be an empty block. There is no trains allowed. And then block number 6 has again a train. And to answer the question from Pat Valley Railroad, I do not use DCC decoders. I don't have any DCC decoders. What I do is I sniff the bus, and with the DCC inspector, which is part of the DCC-EX program, and I only take the locomotive ID, the speed that the locomotive is running, and the forward or reverse motion. And that is sent over a serial connection to my power controller. And the power controller then translates it to everything. I actually made a board so I can explain it.
Ah, here we go.
If you can put it.
Yeah, let's get you up there again.
Yeah. So this is actually a test example. So we have the DCC-EX here, and it also has Wi-Fi on it. That one has power of this is the DCC bus, and the DCC bus is sent over a fast switching optocoupler. It translates, because the DCC bus, you cannot just connect it to a Arduino. You need to isolate those two. So the optocoupler functions as an isolator, and then I use a DCC inspector to check what is being sent out, because DCC constantly sends out that a locomotive runs at a certain speed. If you sniff that bus, then it constantly push that on the bus. The locomotives itself, they don't send a signal back, I have received your command, so I'm gonna run. No, it constantly does that. So this one detects it, and then it automatically sends it over a serial connection to this one, which then actually controls the power on the power controllers over here via a servo motor drive of a servo controller. And with this you can set pulses and then regulate the output one way or the other way. And then here on top, well, I don't have the tracks on here anymore, but then between this power controller there is a current sensor, and then it sends the current when the locomotive is moving, and then it sets a high that the train is moving, and then JMI sees that as a sensor, and then it just lights up the track.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's, yeah, like I say, way over my head. And I agree with Lynn McCurdy. Holy smokes, that's electrical art.
Electrical art, very, very well put.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you should be able to see the whole layout from here.
Wow. Oh, nice.
Let me see if we can. So let me go over that. So this is Codyville. That's the city which I built. It's actually above the staircase, which is underneath it. Then this is Buddy Town, and yeah, currently it is daytime in Buddy Town. The town itself, every 24 minutes is in our time is 1 day in Buddy Town, and there are several lights in the buildings as well, and also the street lights around it, which go on and off with a clock in JMRI. So here we have the train on track number 3B, and when that train is moving, it moves over to the rest of the track. So we have a windmill over there, and then we go to the back. So I still need to put a lot of scenery over here, and I have a bridge, and I would like to make a river, but at this moment this area over here has the train yard already, and I would like to move the train yard a little bit over there. So this is the train yard, that's Kevin's yard, and this is the shadow station which I built next to it, and then we have the staging yard over there. And this is the computer which I just showed in the screen share, which has JMRI on it, and it also runs the programs. So let me grab my cell phone.
Yes, Marcel. He is from the Netherlands.
So I have the cell phone, and there is power on the track, at least power on DCC. I can select the engine. These are the locomotives which I have configured within JMRI, but I'm gonna select this one because that's the one which I'm currently working on to get everything up and running. And currently only the forward motion is working correctly. The rest I'm still working on it. So if I gonna start the engine, you see it runs. it starts to run. So I just controlled a DC locomotive over JMRI. So and then it moves over here.
So I don't know much about JMRI, but to use it, you need to use it with DCC?
You can use it actually with various controllers. So now I stop the train. And I hope nobody gets dizzy.
Close your eyes, Dennis.
So this is my control station, control block, the power station. So these are all motor drivers, and they are controlled by that Arduino. And underneath, we have relays, which controls the turnouts, because I have snap switch turnouts. So you need to have two relays, which are on and off a second to snap the turnout. And then here you have the DCC-EX control station, and it sends the signal over to this interface to that sniffer. And these two wires, so all the communication goes over these two wires directly to the Mega, and that's where the magic happens. So the Mega controls all these motor drivers.
I like your point.
Merry Christmas. I think I got smoke in my ears just looking at that.
So, and if you can see at this moment, the street lights just went on here, and there are some lights in the buildings as well, and that is just controlled by JMRI.
Dennis says that looks like the back head of a 747 back panel, flight panel. Back head of it.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. So, and in every building, because a lot of buildings have a lot of LEDs in there. It's all LED lit. So almost every apartment has its own LED, and then they will go on and off at a certain time. So, and when I would switch off the light, it would show a very nice. Let me do that. Let me see if I can quickly do that. So then it looks like this. And as said, every 24 minutes it's a full day in this town.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Lights in the buildings and stuff really bring a layout to life.
So hi, you said earlier that you and your wife started modeling. Does your wife help you with your layout?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
She built actually this area over here. That is an area which came from our old layout. So the marketplace, the school, these houses over here. So she did that all. And on the market itself, she used cigarette paper to roll and to make carpets of it. What is it? Yeah, carpets of it for on this layout. And she also painted the people, because they are less than 1 centimeter high. Say it again?
What did she use the cigarette paper for?
To make carpet rolls.
Oh, carpet rolls. Okay, I understand now.
So how do you access the back side of the layout? It looks like, if you're talking 5 feet, that's a long stretch. How do you get to the back?
That's
Let
easy.
me
Bill.
switch camera again. So let me switch camera again. So here is the cell phone. I'm gonna put that away. This is still in progress, but this is a lift out,
Nice.
and then I can just reach over at the end. I can't reach at the windmill over there. That is just a little bit too far away. But I have some kitchen stairs of which I can use to reach there. And let me see. Where did I put it? This is
there you
also
go.
handy.
Yeah.
No, that was good. That hidden panel for access, you couldn't even tell it looking at the video that was there. So that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the next question. You've got multiple cameras situated on the layout, and you have some kind of control system to access different views. Can you kind of give us a background and let us know what you're using to do that and what kind of cameras they are, that kind of thing? Because I'm going to need cameras underneath my layout eventually. So I haven't gotten that far yet to really even look into it. So I'm curious what you're doing there.
So this is an overview of my cameras, and they are actually two of the cameras are currently installed in buildings.
So
And
they're
the
actually
camera,
hidden, you can't see them just looking at the layout?
yeah. So
Cool.
that would be this camera over here, which I'm now blocking. That is inside a house. And then we have a camera over here. You see that one? So now it's blank. So that is looking at the windmill. That's also inside a house. And those are ESP32 cameras.
Well, now the one with the street view where the red car is that in a building or is that setting out on its own? Because that's a good view there.
So you mean this one?
Yes.
That is currently just lying on the street. So I'm still looking to see if I can put it in a building. Because a lot of buildings, they have their own controllers inside for the lights which are in each apartment. And so that there is no room for a camera to put in.
And Bernard wants to know if your cams are Arduino driven.
No, these are ESP32s. So, and it runs just a program. Let me put one here. So you can select the resolution. These are just sketches which have been created specifically for the ESP32. And you can start and stop the stream on it. And I just use the Vivaldi Explorer. So this is a web browser. And within the web browser, you can group windows with each other. So that's the reason why you see 6 windows in this screen. It presents it as one output, and that makes it very nice that you have a overview of your whole table.
And you say that's a web-based
Yeah, Vivaldi is
like
just a
you're
web
actually
browser.
Online connected to that? Is that how that works?
All these cameras are connected over Wi-Fi.
But then what is the command and control of the view of your various views?
This is just the web browser is called Vivaldi.
Vivaldi, as in like the composer?
Yes.
Okay.
And with that, you can group various windows together in one view, and that's the nice thing about this.
Okay, so just to be clear, in order for this to work, you have to have a connection to the internet to make use of Vivaldi.
No.
No.
No, this is internally.
Okay, so it's a download then?
Yes. Vivaldi is just a downloadable browser like Internet Explorer, Chrome, or Firefox, or Safari. It is just another web browser, and then you can group the pages together if you want.
Okay, I think I understand that.
Then you can explain it to us later.
So,
No,
but
that's pretty cool if you can do all the cameras like that.
Yeah, but it does look nice because it's not distorted on the edge like you can get on a lot of cameras. You've got it looks natural when you're looking through.
Yeah, like Ali says, at least you can see what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Which for that, especially if you're going to put it down on the street level like that or track level, to make it look like you're standing there watching the trains, it doesn't have to be real clear resolution, because your train's going to go by pretty quick when you're down that close to it. It's not like you're watching it from a distance. But yeah, that's kind of neat. I kind of like that. Well, thanks for showing us your layout. I was going to ask if anybody.
Fascinating.
It was very nice.
Yes, and again, hi. Thanks for coming on and showing us your layout. And
yeah, thank you for having me here.
Down in the description is a link to Hi's layout, is to his YouTube page. So go check that out. And
Yeah, go check them out.
again, thanks everybody for showing up. Jerry and Bill and Dennis and Steve.
Yep.
And you guys have a good weekend and a good week next week. And we'll see you guys back next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Later.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
I would like to thank the Back on Track team for the Sidetrack live show for inviting me. So thank you Claude, Steve, Dennis, Bill and Jerry for having me on the show. I put links in the description below from the Back on Track team and also from the individuals itself. So go out and check them. And if you want to see more of the adventures of how I built my layout, please consider to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, ring the bell to get notified of all the videos to come, and I will see you in a next video. Thank you and goodbye.